Can we pull up the second question? The second question is, do you know anyone who has been in an accident due to distracted driving? Yes or no? Simple question. Do we have the results for those? Here they come. There we go. So, of that question, we have slightly fewer yeses than nos. But that's kind of telling, isn't it, guys? That's a lot of people who know someone who's been involved in an accident for distracted driving. Wow. All right, what about number 3? How about you? Have you personally been in an accident or had a close call because of distracted driving? Yes or no? What's the poll say? Question 3. So two-thirds, 67% of you guys have not, but a whopping 33% of you have been involved in an accident or a close call from distracted driving. That's a lot. I'm kind of shocked. That's a lot. Yeah, right. Some of you guys don't drive. And honestly, for those of you guys who do, the last question's here. Do you text and drive? Yes, I do regularly. Sometimes, never. What does the poll say? Poll says 20% yes. What is that? 36% sometimes and 43% never. Okay, I hope you guys are being honest about the 43%. Still, that's a pretty decent bit. The last question, distracted driving. What distractions most often affect you while you're driving? We got texting, grooming, eating, passengers, navigating, radio. Of those results, which thing distracts us the most while we're driving? It looks like radio, music, that wins, but right behind it is texting, phone calls, and the other ones kind of fill out throughout there. All right, so you guys know that in chapel this year, our theme has been stories. We've had people come in and talk about all the different stories they had. You guys have related to some of them. Some of them have touched you personally. Maybe some of them you're like, I don't quite get it. Well, I got news for you guys. Today we have a story that I promise you affects everyone. How many people in here have a cell phone? I should see everybody's hands, right? How many people in here drive? How many people in here ever ride as a passenger in a car? Yeah. So we have 3 questions. Everybody in this room can resonate with the story that we're going to share today. Okay? So we'll open us up with prayer, and we got a video we're going to watch. And we're going to hear all about a message that I think will resonate very much with you guys. So we pray. Lord, we come today, we ask that you just quiet our hearts, quiet our minds. Help us to focus completely on you and completely on the message that we're going to hear. Help us to understand the importance of what we're about to hear, that it affects our lives in every conceivable way we can imagine. Pray that you be with all the people that are going to speak today. You be with those people who are running sound and all the atmosphere, everything that involved in this chapel. We pray that you're with us today, Lord. And we give you all the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
She just had this light. Whenever you talked to her, she brought so much light to everybody.
She was bigger in life. She was 5 foot nothing, 110 pounds, but she was like this dynamo. And when she come into the room, she would light it up.
This was the nicest person I've ever met in my life. Better person than I ever could be.
September 17th is a day that I will never forget. I hate that day. And it's a day that I lost my little girl.
I said, I love you, Maria. I love you more, Mom, and she slammed the door, and that's the last time I talked to her.
So at 2:25 in the morning, the dog started barking, and I heard a car door. And I said, thank God she's home.
The doorbell rang.
Well, that's where the dad and me took place, and the policeman. Because I've been at these accidents, I know how they happen. It's not a deer running out in front of you. It's not a dog going by you. It's not missing the curve. It's because of distracted driving. My own daughter, texting while she was coming home from work, drifted off the side of the roadway and hit a tree that was wider than the car. Because of 2 inches, she survived. What you're seeing up here, some people were fortunate, but most were hurt. Some were killed. The poll you took talked about 1 in 5 being involved in an accident, right? 1 in 5. It's 5 people in a row. Imagine if one of you got up in every row and came up here because you couldn't go home. These types of events do not just affect you. They affect the people you're sitting next to. They affect your family, your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters, your teachers, the neighbor who saw you grow up down the road. You have the greatest means to prevent this.
Introduce to you guys Mr. Dom Taveri.
Thank you, guys. This time last week, I was somewhere out in the Gulf of Mexico, stuck in fog on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer with Coach Meyer. And, in case you guys don't know, I do host the Urban Meyer Show, and that's my job now, Buckeye football and covering the sports. But my mission is what I'm here to talk to you about today. And you don't choose this; it chooses you. And distracted driving is an epidemic in our country. And it's out of hand, and it is ridiculous that we're losing so many kids. I'm here to tell you that if one of you guys are going to die, it's going to probably be in a car crash. And it's stupid. It is the #1 killer of your age group. And as the officer said, it doesn't just affect you. As parents, our goal is to get our kids to heaven. And I know Maria's in a better place. I know she's in heaven. But we as human beings are not built to bury our children. It's not supposed to happen. How many of you guys drive? How many of you guys will be driving soon? Driving an automobile is a responsibility. You're driving a weapon that not only can hurt you, it can hurt someone else. And high school is so important. I see you guys, you're all sitting with your buddies. I want you to look at your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You're just your friend. And think about how important they are in your life. And I know it because my kids texted constantly. Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff. And you know what? I have it. I have all those. And that you guys spend all day at school with each other, and then you get home and you text. It doesn't seem like anyone talks on a phone anymore, but you're doing all these electronic messages. But as you look at that person that's important in your life, I want you to imagine that they're dead. I want you to imagine that you're looking at them lying in a casket. I don't have to imagine that anymore. It was my biggest fear that something bad would happen to one of my children. And it happened. And I'm here to tell you that that is the fear of every one of your parents. To you, you're smart kids. What's the most preventable? Distracted driving is not just texting. Maria wasn't texting. We don't know what she was doing. But something took her attention away for her to slam in the back of a truck. Distracted driving is anything that takes your hands, eyes, or mind off your driving. There's a reason why the state of Ohio says you can't have a bunch of youngsters in a car, because bad things happen. Who remembers the tragedy at the beginning of last summer? 5 kids from Johnstown, all your age, in a car, beginning of summer. The boy driving was 16 years old, had his driver's license for 2 months, had 3 kids in the back seat that were 15 years old. And then the boy in the front seat was 17. Goofing off in the car, thinking about how they got all summer. Lost control of the car, went into a tree, the car broke in half, and all 3 kids who were in the back seat, none of them with seatbelts on, died instantly. Not going to happen to me. It's always going to be the other guy. It's the way I used to think. I am the other guy. That boy is 16 years old, traumatic brain injury. He's healed up enough, and now he's going to jail till he's at least 21. But any punishment they give that kid, can you imagine the hell he's going to live through? He didn't want to kill them kids. Those were his friends. He's got to live the rest of his life knowing that he killed 3 people and severely injured another one and severely injured himself. That's the reality of what happens with decisions that we make. And you got to live with them.